Mercy, you finally arrived. Wipe the dust from your shoes and come in, sugar. Your presence will be such a tonic for poor, dear Mrs. Beaumont. She's been fanning herself by the window in a state of absolute agitation awaiting you. Now, if y'all can find it in your hearts to indulge us for one fleeting afternoon, we are going to make a brave pretense of having actually paid attention in those drafty schoolrooms of our youth. We are going to cast our eyes upon some literature. Oh, honey, don't recoil like a wilted gardenia. We had that very same visceral reaction, I assure you. But please, don't fret. This won't be some dreary, moth-eaten fourth-grade book report, and it most certainly is not that wretched English 101 paper you ghost wrote for that adorably dull fraternity boy, the one with the jawline of a god and the intellect of a damp brick.
In the shadows of the South, music is never merely a matter of meter or rhyme. It is a blood pulse, a haunting choir rising from the red clay and the stagnant swamp water. These melodies are our true inheritance, carrying the weight of a century's grief and glory in the time it takes for a tallow candle to flicker and die. Within the span of a few desperate minutes, a song unearths the same ghosts that Capote, Flagg, and Mitchell spent hundreds of ink-stained pages trying to exorcise. The secrets they buried in chapters of typeset prose, the family rot, the hidden sins, and the fierce, jagged beauty of our land are all laid bare in the vibration of a single steel string. Flowers by Miley Cyrus isn't a tiny tune about a broken heart. It is a modern Southern manifesto. It is more than a pop hit. It is a monument of resilience that helps transition Southern identity away from the burden of the past and toward a self-defined future. In the quiet parlor of a house that has seen too many secrets and not enough paint, I sit and recall a story that began where the earth met the sky in a flash of unholy light. You see, darling, she built a home not just of timber and mortar, but of that fragile, desperate hope that binds two people together when the stars are aligned just so. But the Great Spirit, he has a way of reminding us that nothing we possess is truly ours. She watched it burn, the flames licking the sky like the red tongues of ancient dogs, and in that ruin, the old ghosts of the Tennessee hills found a new place to wail. There's a rhythm to it, a slow, deliberate drum beat like the sound of a woman's heels on a hot pine floor. It is the sound of the Muscle Shoals, where the river spirits and the city lights meet to dance a slow, funky shuffle. She spoke, this daughter of Nashville royalty with the grit of the red clay in her throat, and she didn't scream. No, she whispered with the refined steel of a woman who has survived the fire and found the ashes quite cleansing to the skin. For a long time, the story went that a woman was a vine, always looking for a trellis to climb, a suitor to bring the blossoms of the field to a door. But this daughter of the New South, she looked at the scorched earth and she realized the land still belonged to her. In the old way of my ancestors, we say that when the woods are silent, the soul begins its real work. She didn't go to the crossroads to make a deal. She went to the florist. "I can buy myself flowers," she said, her voice elongating the vowels like a slow-moving creek in the low country. It was a manifesto of the stoic woman, the steel magnolia who has traded her lace for a golden suit of armor. She took the disco funk of the ancestors, that blurring of the color line where the Memphis sound meets the sophisticated soul, and she wove a new garment for herself. She talked to herself for hours, not because she was losing her mind, but because she was finally speaking to someone worth listening to. She took her own hand and led herself across the floor, the Rhodes piano shimmering like light on the salt marshes. There was no Jolene to beg, no patriarch to satisfy. The good old girl died in those flames, and what rose was a woman who understood that the labor of self-care is the only work that truly sustains the spirit. It is a monument of resilience, you see. In the South, we are often burdened by the heavy trunk of history, dragging it behind us like a trunk full of leaden silver, but she let it drop. She tended her own garden, not out of a sense of duty to a husband or a name, but because the roses she buys for herself never wilt from neglect. She is the New South, polished, global, and utterly unbothered by the ghosts of what used to be. She has looked at the decay of a union, seen the grotesque reality of a house turned to charcoal, and decided that she is quite capable of being her own sun.
Now don't stand there looking at me with those wide, wounded eyes, honey. I can't bear a scene when the humidity's this high. If you're looking for that melody, that sweet, aching little tune we just talked about, it's waiting for you down in the description. It's tucked away like a love letter you weren't supposed to find, but there it is, plain as the moon over the delta. And listen to me, sugar, don't be cruel. Reach out your hand and tap that like icon, and for heaven's sake, subscribe to us. A soul needs a little attention to keep from fading away into the wallpaper, and we've always depended on the kindness of strangers like you.